Knee fight. You literally have to sit something heavy on top of the corner to pull it out.
Yeah, so just take the bag and put it right there.
Connor, knee fight. That's the wrong size, homie.
No, it's not.
To freaking do that. But see, knee fight, you have to put something on top of it.
I got this.
Put your dick on top of it. That should be heavy enough.
I know. But
God damn it, where's the good beer?
the boat should also be heavy enough.
No, I was gonna say, hand him your freaking big ass cup.
Don't drink haha juice on Twitch.
Your big ass cup.
Yeah, don't drink
No,
haha.
not
No,
Thomas,
the
full
empty one.
The empty one. Yours.
Why not?
Oh my god, fuck
Wait,
it. I got a bag of books.
2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, 2 minutes. We're screaming Jumanji because F the world and we're gonna destroy it all.
You mean 1 minute and 33 seconds?
I mean a blowjob for everybody who wants one.
No thanks. Okay, is that good?
Yeah,
Hey.
it's about as good as you do. Don't worry about any bullshit, dude. I just gotta keep my head here to block off the freaking...
Alright, now let me try.
You couldn't be
Amber, where are we
No,
going to
it's
do our
the crazy
midnight
peas.
thing?
No, I gotta go.
You have
I go
Thomas.
downstairs.
Yeah.
No, nigga, you got... Fine.
You can't kiss on live.
Yeah, I can move over there.
Yeah, you come to
Just
me.
bring me my damn e-cigarette, somebody.
Kiss me.
Cigarettes?
E-cig.
Cigarettes? We don't have fucking cigarettes. We have e-cig.
That's what I said. My e-puff.
But yeah, you're gonna have to
Are you
come over
recording
here.
all the craziness?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm recording on the craziness.
Good.
It is live right now.
1 minute.
36. 34,
Okay,
32,
this is a podcast about nothing. We're doing whatever. We're talking about whatever.
27,
'Cause that's how we
26,
roll.
24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15,
Everybody left me. It's all
13.
mine.
12, come here, 11,
Which is what I expect to do
9, 8,
8,
7,
7,
6,
6,
in
5,
4 years when I
4,
become governor.
3,
Do it my
2,
way. Fix the system the way I think it should be fixed.
Happy fucking New Year!
Jumanji!
Jumanji!
2020 can suck my freaking.
Jumanji!
Did you not see my post I posted earlier? I think I posted it on Facebook too. It's 2 and the toilet paper rolls are 2020. And we finished wiping our asses with one of the rolls, so it's just a freaking cardboard middle. Need to fix it.
So at the same time, every one of us, all at the same time, just so it's on the stream and everything, all in the chorus. 1, 2, 3.
Jumanji!
Fuck off.
I'll be right back. I gotta go do something. Yeah.
Son of a bitch, you fucked over there too.
Dude, don't worry about it.
So this is the Crazy Peas podcast, in which we're all crazy in hell and everything.
Sup. We got a new P today.
Yeah, we got a new P.
This is my little brother.
The leg strength is a girl.
Yeah, this is episode 2, Crazy Peas.
I'm not grabbing my dick, don't worry.
I'm such a scared child. Yes.
My pussy is gonna be cold. I'm gonna go make pots outside real quick.
Pussy.
Go check out Nico's place too. But,
Yeah, make sure that doesn't light on fire.
But like, so this is episode 2, in which we're gonna talk about a bunch of random stuff. But we're gonna try.
First day of the year.
We're gonna have like some focus on like storytelling and other shit that like we were talking about before. But it's gonna mostly be crazy ass 2021 stuff.
Thomas, I got some crazy story we got.
What?
The time we went to have a smoke in the park and ended up in on a game of Truth or Dare.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You remember? Okay, that was some crazy ass shit. Okay, that story.
What year was that?
That was this last year. So we're sitting there and we're smoking cigs in the park. We're just walking around the block, just having a good time, trying to blow off some steam. And fucking some kids are in the park running around them. One of them's a chick. They come from Job Corps apparently, and
They hide out.
Yeah, Job Corps just right across the street
Yeah.
from where we were.
And so the one chick, she like lays a fat ass fucking kissy kiss on Nico or on Nephi, and both have names starting with N. But like on Nephi, and and so the kids are sitting there and they're in the park and they're kind of drunk. Like, it's obvious they've been drinking, and they're all having fun.
I've only had one. Come on.
Yeah, you had like
behind
one.
me.
I had like half of one because I was trying to keep it tame. And we're walking on the
Don't
block,
grab that ass.
and we're sitting there and just hanging out, and the kids are playing truth or dare, and so they start daring each other to do stuff, and they start like asking us to dare them to do stuff.
Well,
And
wait! You forgot the main thing.
Okay,
one
yeah,
of them ran over and looked me dead in the eye.
that's what I just said. It's like she lay a fat ass fucking kissy kiss on you.
No, that's not the one.
Oh, okay.
When we were still over smoking our cigarettes,
Yeah.
the one dude that ran over and asked, "Hey, you want me to suck your dick?"
Oh my god.
And I
That was
was
so crazy.
confused as hell. No.
Offered. This was before you. This
Yeah,
was
no,
pre-camp.
They got dared
Wife.
to come over and run over and ask if they could suck one of our dicks.
Yeah, and like the one dude really badly wanted to. Like he was like telling us to dare him,
Dude,
triple dog dare him, and then he backed out.
Your man broke the
Fucking
freaking
Nephi was like,
F-word
"I'll pull it
freaking
out,"
thing
and they were
within
just
the
like,
first
"No."
2 minutes of
And then
the
he was
last
like,
time.
"Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea either." And so like they both like
If you
ended up
actually
daring him
watch
to
it
do
on
other
YouTube,
stuff.
you'll see.
And then next thing you know, the two dudes are trying to get into the girl's pants, and a bunch of other weird shit happened. So that was a crazy story.
Keep it basic.
Yeah.
2020 can suck my balls.
Dude, they straight. Thomas, you remember the
Well,
one?
hide in your face, Goober, if you're going to tell
I'm
the
not
story.
trying to. So, they dared
I'm the
me
editor
to
of the
chug
stream.
one of the canned bikes. The big canned bikes. So I pounded that.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that's one of the few things I remember.
Because someone dares you to do something really crazy, and chances are you'll do it.
Yes, we're evil like that.
Yeah.
You can't do this. I bet you I can.
Who dared Nephi to knock me up?
No one.
You did when you married him.
No, remember he said, "I want you to have my kid right
Oh.
as he put it in you."
Fucking.
He dared himself.
Karma's up.
No, Cam, you know who dared him?
The universe.
Your vagina.
And his dick.
See, we talk about random shit on my podcast. Well, on our podcast.
Yep.
My podcast.
Yeah,
My stream.
your Twitch stream, our
Our video.
podcast, either way.
YouTube
Crazy
is gonna definitely monetize our asses.
Yep.
You can probably not
Can
hear
we-
me because I have that.
can we fix that?
Oh no, they don't hear.
Oh, it hears you on
No,
another one.
Can we fix this?
What?
This?
What?
No, this.
What?
This?
What about the? No, don't worry about that, dude. It
What
was
if
in the
we're-
last one.
It can
Shut
fucking
up.
hear you.
Alright.
You move the microphone and it's not gonna hear shit, dude.
No, I
Dude.
was talking about the pop filter. Circle.
There's
No,
a pop filter
don't
on
worry
it.
about it.
This
Can
pop
we just
filter?
take off the ground one?
No.
Because I don't want to lose it.
This
Dude,
is
okay,
the pop
listen
filter.
to me. Last time, go on your phone, YouTube.
I don't have my.
Dark. Well, I can't hand you mine. Mine's up there. I'm streaming this crap.
Yeah, because we stream it.
Now, when I get a freaking save up the money in here in a month or two, actually, if everything works out, on my birthday, I'm gonna go buy myself a laptop so that way we don't have to use my phone. My laptop will be right here. We're gonna have to move some of this stuff. Put my laptop right here for the stream from Twitch, and then we can do the blue screen too.
Yep.
So that way we'll have it on the
You just
recording
download
and
the,
mine.
yeah, you just download the OBS and then you position the
Yep.
green screen and there
I
you
mean,
go.
that was my plan for midnight, but that's besides the point.
What was your plan?
No.
To
Jose's
rape
saying
you.
Andrew's probably banging Rachel, and that's why he hasn't seen the messages.
Not like it matters.
So he's gonna get his regular.
But if you ain't got that by the time you're 18, you's a bitch. That's my
what I'm
friend.
saying. He didn't lose his virginity until he was 18.
Point in case then.
He lost it to a 15-year-old.
No, see, here's the funny part. I lost everything except for intercourse virginity by the time I was 14?
I was gonna say 12, but I was gonna be 9.
Oh, it's 12.
Well, I'm talking about eating.
Yeah.
So 12. BJ's, I lost that in the first grade. I'm ahead of the curve. Just is what it is.
But yeah, so as far as this goes, like, what's some of everyone's favorite movies or stories?
Feels like it's a fifth wheel.
Okay, my favorite book series is Dragon Prince.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever read it. I
Yeah,
have it at
you
home.
told me about it, and I've seen it on the internet.
It's a really good series. I like it because it talks about dragons and how. God, I can't reach. What, the Mexicans not gonna jump in? We got somebody from everywhere.
Get in here, April.
Yeah, you're like not in the camera, like your hands are right there.
Stand behind
Hand
Nephi.
reveal. Hand reveal.
Hand reveal!
You lost the game, Tommy.
I got it.
He got what he wanted.
Okay.
He snuck in and did the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, but does anybody really remember that game? I mean, if you ain't old enough, one, you shouldn't be watching our stuff. Two, you done lost, homie. But anyways, the book's about this guy's dad who basically owns the most prominent land
Yeah.
in the desert of the world.
But I mean, that's only if you eat like a bucket.
That is where most of the dragons go and breed.
Yeah.
And what his dad knows and doesn't tell him, but he finds out after his dad dies because he goes to the dragon breeding ground to find out that's where why his dad was the richest king or prince, because they
Yeah.
don't go by king, it's prince. You have the head prince and then all princess. So it's not the whole king queen thing. But he finds out that the eggs from all the hatching dragons
What was that?
is actually made out of gold. And that's why his dad was the richest one, because he's got the biggest thing. And the sun
On the top.
dancers, I think,
What was that?
I'd have to look it up. I haven't read the book in like 2-3 years. But anywho,
Hold it.
you have the basic ones that can do basically talk across hundreds, thousands of miles through
Yeah.
the sunlight and the moonlight if it's a full moon and there's no clouds. And his aunt, which is the head of the sun, whatever, basically sets him up with the pupil she wants. And the funny part is, the guy who's the head prince, who ends up getting killed in the book, rapes his wife, and he kills him for it. But the guy's daughter, who wanted to be his basically queen, his
Mhm.
princess,
Hey Thomas, sorry to interrupt.
ended up raping him while he was drunk, and he thought it was his
Which
wife
picture?
because she put some sort of poison or whatnot in his drink,
Yeah.
and she raped him, and ended up his wife ended up going and grabbing the kid, and the second book is basically them raising the kid as their own, not telling anybody that it's not her kid.
Yeah.
But because of the bloodline from the head prince's bloodline through the daughters and whatnot,
Hey, Cam.
is actually a sun runner. That's what it was, runner, who can do it through starlight,
I like
Okay.
the most minuscule light in the world. And at the end of the first book, that's how they kill the head prince guy after he rapes his wife and his daughter rapes him.
When my stimulus comes in, I should probably actually just buy the series.
I have it at home, dude. I could just bring it over.
You just burn it.
You could
the
read
series.
Oh yeah, we could most definitely.
Like what? 12 books? 6 books?
I have the 6 books that I originally knew, and I just found out that the 3 or 4 books beforehand,
Yeah.
and I haven't bought those yet. Those are the ones I haven't bought.
3. No.
Which tells the backstory, because Dragon Prince came out first, and they did that trilogy. Then they did the second half, which is basically the Sun's trilogy for the most part.
You think she go down like?
And then he wrote the pre-trilogy
Yeah.
books. And I haven't read the pre-trilogy book, but I know most of the lore and background from reading the first book and reading some of the other books here and there over the years. I know 90% of the lore.
Yeah.
And when I found out that the other books were out, I looked at them and I'm like,
Make sure
I already know all this shit. Why didn't I?
Hey.
Well, you know what? Buy it just so that way I have the full series.
So
I
what's
haven't
your
done it yet.
favorite scene in this whole story?
Yeah.
Because you sort of like described it holistically and then bounced around between places. So what is your favorite scenes that you have on there? Like what gets you really going into it, and like what drives that as being a possible influence in your own work?
She's worried about
What drives me is it's the whole the Sunrunners are like witches, but yet they're not. They just have a special gift because of their bloodline. But also the Princedoms, it's the who's the biggest one, but because the one that was the original head guy who won his I'm the top Princedom was a complete dick. I like that because he was an asshole, a rapist, and just a complete douche. They ended up killing him. And the guy who deserved it, which was the main character at the beginning of the book, actually got what he should have had from the beginning because his father basically ran everything under the head assholes because everybody owed his dad money essentially.
Yeah.
But he did it in such a no. We're not gonna say no. You're poor. Shut the fuck up like the other guy did. No. We accept everybody. We're all family technically because of how many years with the breeding and we stay in our own little section of the world. Let's all be friends.
Yeah.
Let's not do this infighting. No,
But that's because my leg.
I'm related to this guy. Can you prove it? Yeah, and then they gotta prove it through the bloodlines and you know, this was my mother's father and da 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 da. It's like no, we accept you.
Forgetting one thing.
We know who's who, and just because your title's like Duke,
Let me know when
you're still part of the family.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about it. It's not the kind of like I always talk about. It's not I'm Islam, I'm Jewish, I'm fuck you. We all believe in God. We all have different names for it, but it's all the same asshole. And even with the freaking, if you look at the old school religions, the paganism and whatnot, technically there's one guy in charge. Now each religion say it's a different guy, but technically it's the one guy who's in charge of everything.
Yeah.
Like Odin, the Allfather. Okay, if we go by that, then Odin is basically Kratos, because Kratos was the one who was the father of all the Greek gods and the Roman gods. So, no matter what, you go back, it's the greater gods,
Yeah.
the first ones, or the ones before them, the grandfathers, and it just became, okay, no, that's just God. All these other things, no, they're not really gods, they're more like angels and archangels. It's the same thing, it's just a hierarchy. Let's take out the hierarchy, which is why I want to get into the whole government thing, because I hate the hierarchy how it is. It's like, no, let's spread it to everybody.
For like 30 minutes.
And no offense, the whole end of the world, all the money's the same. There's no such thing as religion. That's bad from a religious point of view for the Christians and a few of the other religions, but the end is, if you do it properly, especially with the money, like, no, it's not dollar bill, it's not euros, it's all the same.
Yeah.
We all have the same, because technically, all the money right now is all, it's imaginary, it's all digital.
Yeah.
It's complete bullshit.
Yeah, because they print it out like crazy and they, create more of it rather than.
Well, and with our last president, Trump, with his fucked up as he made it, because, ooh, the market's going down, stocks suck, let's dump money into it.
Yeah.
Hey, look, the stocks are good.
Pumping
Yeah, but that
stocks.
means the freaking dollar bill went from being $1 to 75 cents, dollars worth 50 cents, now it's worth like fucking 10, 15 cents.
Yeah, because the dollar,
Because
also pumping
Canadian
money.
money's worth more. Any money from Europe, pounds, the actual euros, everything's worth more than the American dollar. Why don't we just take it all out? It all means the same. A one's a one. I don't give a shit what it's printed on. It's all means the same. And if it's digital, if I pay $5 in America for something, it's $5 or £5 or 5 looms or whatever the bill is everywhere. We just figure out what means what. Because I know you have the pounds and then, what's the other one? I can't remember. But the pounds is like the 1, 2, it's the ones marker. And then the next one up, and I can't remember what its name is basically the tens place.
Yeah.
Well, I have 20 this. Okay, so you have $200. Why don't we just set it all the same, figure out an equal way to make it so where all the money's the same, because all it is a promissory. Because technically all the loans we have out for cars and homes, it's all bullshit. It's,
It's
I
built
have
off-
the money.
It's
Do
up
you actually have the money?
Yeah, because
No,
it's built
it's
off
all
the
fake.
predication that you're going to end up being able to pay it every single month, on auto pay, or you're
Well, it's
going
not
to pay
even
it.
that.
And
I was
you're
watching somebody
be
last
lending
year
it.
who was talking about the banks in Africa and how he was helping a whole section. I don't remember the name of the region in Africa, but after they tell the banks to, no offense to people who don't like that symbol, but anywho, but basically tell them to
The
F off
flip-off
because,
the bird.
no, actually, this finger is for responsibility. So when you flip everybody off, you're like, my responsibility, not yours. Technically.
So you're saying the dirty bird is technically a responsible figure in
I know where that.
society and
It's
culture.
supposed to be responsibility. Well, because the middle finger is your responsibility finger. Relationship finger is the ring finger. And I can't remember the rest because I don't have the book from the one of the courses. You know what I'm talking about, like Kirk Duncan does. But
Yeah.
they have the body language one. This
Yeah, 'cause
means
they have,
this.
like, the
This means
hand.
this.
And like
Well,
the
each
index
part of your
finger,
body, depending on which way
index
you move it.
finger like means something, and then the
And the left hand's your past, and the right hand's your present and future.
right, and then like you have like
So whenever your
responsibility,
finger breaks,
and you have like certain fingers that mean a certain
like
thing.
if your nail breaks on your left finger, okay, you're basically broken a past relationship. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. But if it breaks on your right finger, your fingernail cracks or whatever, that basically means that you're having issues or yourself, you feel like you're having trouble with a current relationship or a relationship that is building for the future. It's basically going to crap now, so either let it go or figure out how to fix it and build it stronger.
Yeah. So it's like, so one of my favorite series, like stories wise, is like one of them,
Star Wars.
Supernatural, and then you got Star Wars. As far as books go, I would say that one of my favorites is that became my favorite around when I was 19 was the Cirque du Freak series. It's it's young adults vampire series. It
Okay.
was
Yeah,
less
yeah.
of a focus on let's make it as gory as hell or let's make everyone fuck each other. It's more like a focus on how to introduce a world where vampires know honor and where vampires know rule, like they have their own sort of laws and rules. The most impactful.
They're the royalty
yeah.
family that never left royalty.
Right, and so they're. I think the book that really stuck out for me, like with scenes and stuff, was Vampire Prince, was the 6th book. It's literally smack dab in the middle of the series, and it's the 3rd series because you've got the vampire rights, then you got the vampire trials, and you got the vampire war and all that other stuff, and Vampire Destiny trilogy. You have like 4 different trilogies. The one that stuck out to me the most was book 6, and that's the end of the 1st and 2nd arc, and it's where Darren learns the difference between a honorable murderer, someone who's killing someone else out of honor, and like there's like honor behind it, and there's like honor behind the kill, and then the cold-blooded concept that we all know and love to accuse people of. Yeah, and so it was like the difference between the
downstairs,
two,
don't go.
and it was extremely impactful for me as a younger kid because it's like, whereas like a young adult, because like it introduced concepts that I'd never even known before, and so. So that's one of my favorites. And then the other one was, of course, I liked Percy Jackson, the first series. The second one was cool, but the first one was the
I've heard
most
some good and
impactful.
bad things about it. Like,
It's
no.
derivative.
The first part
It's
is
Greek
about
mythology.
this, then the second one's about this, and then they get into the other mythologies. Once you go so far down the book line, it's like
It's Greek mythology, so it's
that's
kind of
too
derivative,
freaking
but it's
complicated. Man,
kinda
just
like-
keep it with one.
it's
Well,
kind of
no.
like the
Somebody
perfect
who
Harry
read it
Potter thing. with
almost all the way
trilogy,
through.
Trinity. Yeah.
Said they get into Odin and a few of the others. Like, I don't even think
They don't go
went-
into Odin until like probably the
I think it's like
the Apollo
12th
series.
book or something.
well they
Well,
have
it's
they
far
have
down the line, but I'm saying they
they have-
eventually get to every one of them.
well,
It's
they
like
have the Percy Jackson regular Greek mythology, then they have the Heroes of Olympus series that goes into Roman gods. And then he then branched off and did a completely different series with Egyptian. And then he bounced back over to the Apollo series, which was branching them all together. And that's probably the one he's talking about.
well, she would, yeah.
Who?
Somebody you don't know.
Okay.
Just somebody I know who's like, no, the Percy Jackson series, it does this, then it goes here, then it goes.
Yeah, and it goes into different
Oh,
places
good.
all the time. But those are some of my favorites. So as far as the story goes, you said you were working on one of them. What defines a good story for you?
Depends on my mood. Well,
Well,
no, because sometimes I do dragon type stories.
the mood story, the story mood, the mood ring is kind of like
Yeah, I'm random as hell. Cause I got. Actually, you hold on to it. I gotta use the facilities.
Thank you for watching us, one viewer. We appreciate you.
Wonder if it's the one guy from last.
Probably is the one guy from last session. He's taking a pee break, so he'll be back soon. Stories for me. Hold on a second. I'm texting someone real quick. Checking. Okay, my one supervisor. Stories for me. Stories help define a generation. They also help define society. And you know, the point behind a myth, like a myth, like Greek myth, Roman myth, is to have parables or to have lessons to teach an entire population. And so, with that being said, the reason why I wanted stories to be a focus for this episode, or at least a partial focus, we'll focus more on it in the next episode, because this one's obviously going to be the New Year's episode where, we're half drunk and partying a little bit because it's the crazy bees. But story focus is really important because in our current society, in our current world, stories are kind of needed right now. Whether it's TV shows, whether it's movies, whether it's comic books. And if you don't have them, then you aren't learning anything. And as a society, we're focused, especially when you're on Facebook or social media, the most famous and most infamous form of news, or almost form is, thing that touches your soul, thing that gets people talking, of course, are memes. And while those are cool, they're not stories. Like, they are stories in a sense of, like, they're a quick, 5-second thing, and they can tell a story. They're not the same as, like, one that spans an entire narrative. So that's why I wanted to focus a bit more on stories for this episode, is because we're players. Like, I write dark fantasy, play around with, like, vampires, werewolves, demons, angels, that sort of stuff. And of course, Tim obviously focuses on stories a little bit. He's actually writing one that's about a cyborg. At least he's talking about writing one. He's been working on it. And so I figured I'd ask him about it, because it was a way of being able to carry it forward with everything and keep the focus going. So I figured I would talk to the camera a little bit while you were gone.
No, you're good, homie. That's why I said I want to go pee. Carry it.
Yep.
I don't care, dude.
Held the torch a little bit. So back to what we were talking about before. We were talking about how I liked a couple different stories and stuff. The one that I think that we both like a lot, which is Supernatural. That one's an interesting one.
I like
And I
that
think
series.
part of it is because they introduced the concept of Chuck, and Chuck is,
A douche.
well, he's God in the show, and
Well, the character's a douche.
no, we all know that. I mean, it's kind of like a subtext commentary on what everyone thinks God actually is, but beside the point.
See, and that's always the funny part. God's an asshole. Says
Yeah.
who?
Right, and
It
so
says religion. No, religion says Jesus started the crap, so God told Jesus, okay, here's the blueprint, take care of it. That's your Old Testament. New Testament is God saying, okay, you're on earth, I'm gonna you're gonna follow the rules whether you like it or not.
yeah.
And everybody's like, what the hell just happened? He Daddy took over, it's no longer son.
Yeah, so it's like the funny relative thing that I saw behind your talking about that one book series and then Supernatural, one common theme, family.
Oh, yeah.
And I noticed that was a thing that stuck out when you said that. You were like talking about how at the end of the day it's a family story. Like, even though it's like got dragons, even though it's got like all this other stuff going on, even though it's got some demon lord dude or some lord dude who's
Some
you know,
douchebag is
who's
ruling king.
doing
essentially.
shit to women and everything like that, it's still a story about family. And it's funny because the story I wrote that you've been reading with your kid, it's kind of like that. It's got like kings, stuff like that. It's got witches. It's got demons. I don't know where you guys are at in it, but it's got one
I
of
haven't
those,
got
it's
to
one
read
of those
it in a
stories.
couple of days. Been busy doing other stuff. So.
Yeah, life happens. But like that's when you were describing what the king was doing to the girl, and when you were describing some of the other stuff going on, it was like Braxton, other stuff. So like it sounded really familiar.
But see, that's why I like Supernatural and certain other stories, because it's like it's not the story's about the character, but it's not always about the character. It's about why they do what they do. Why?
Yeah.
Because they're like, I hate to bring up the goofy TV show I used to watch as a teen. Well, early entities, but Buffy and Angel, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's we built our family. This is who our people are. We're staying together. You can't break us up. Fuck off.
Yeah, it's kind of.
If it became a douchebag in the family, it's like, really? You know how we run this stuff. Why are you doing that? Do you really want to be kicked out of the family and have to survive on your own? Or are you gonna fix yourself and try not to be an asshole? Like, what was it? Willow did it there for freaking a whole season behind everybody's back, playing an evil little freaking witch bitch.
Yeah, she did.
I'm a lesbian, but I should kill you all. It's like, really? You were the one person that was the geek. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with being the geek. You just gotta own up who you are and run with it.
Yep.
That's like me. What are you? I'm disabled, and I'm completely not in the right mind 90% of the time. But I'm okay with that because, no offense, neither is most of the people that I talk to, like you, my sister, anybody I've actually made friends with, even if it's just halfway friends when I see them at work or see them at a specific place. The funny part is, I just talk about random crap, and usually I can draw anybody into the conversation. That's why when we were talking about, well, we just usually shoot random conversations about stuff. I'm like, okay, let's do it into a podcast. Like Barnacles, the guy I watched that I like what he does because he's random as heck.
Yeah.
He says what he wants to, and if he's got something eating at his girt, he talks about it.
Well, that's also why I figured that I would bring it up, like, and pitch it to you, and then you seem to generally jump onto it, was the
90%
idea
of
that,
the time, yeah.
which is the fact that, like, one of my favorite podcasters, obviously Kevin Smith, he does the same thing where he'll
Yep.
just talk to his friends for like 2 hours and gives them an excuse to have a conversation with them.
Right,
then
and
just
if you
records it.
put a subject in your title, yeah, we'll get to that eventually in the 2, 3, maybe 4 hours that
Yeah.
we're podcasting. If we don't, we don't. If we do, hey, look, I remember. This is what we're going to talk about on our podcast. Let's throw this in right here. Don't even really segue into it, just talking about random stuff. And, oh yeah, well that also has to do with the subject that we're supposed to be talking about, so we ran it in.
Yep. And we had a few guest stars tonight. We had Jose, Nephi. You heard my wife in the background. Jose had to do the whole thing. And then Nephi had to come by and tell us about the fun of the story. I won't go into what the kids are doing at the camp. I'll just say it's extremely inappropriate, and it's stuff that teenagers tend to do when they're partying from, being holed up at Job Corps for however long they're holed up for. And so, of course, the girl.
The only
and the
thing
boys
I've
had to
heard
do-
about that Job Corps
Yeah.
that's been good is their cooking program's awesome. I'm like, well, that's good for them. Did you go to there for yours? I'm like, no, dude, I went to Job Corps in Oklahoma. Talking Leaves.
Yeah.
It's like, where's that? In the middle of effing nowhere, quite literally. No, it is. It's okay. You're driving down. I can't remember the name of the highway, but it's up towards Tulsa, and you're going to Tahlequah, but you're heading towards Tulsa. You take a side exit, which isn't a normal exit that anybody would go to unless you have family in that area,
Yeah.
because the Cherokee reservation is there, but on the side of it, going down that little side, basically back road that goes to nowhere, you go to the Job Corps. And it's like, okay, cool. I know how to get there. I can get there.
Yeah.
I got my head chef certification. I got my GED. Let me say this for clarification. GED in the year of 2000 when it was the hardest to take, right after it came out. And I only had to take redo my English part because I read slow and I'm not really good with English, with essays and stuff. But I only had to take that twice because the second time I took it, I got just enough points to pass everything because the math and the history, all that stuff that's in the GED. Are you smart enough to not have to take your high school diploma? Yes, because I took the hardest GED test ever that was more than the equivalent to a high school diploma. It was actually 2 steps higher.
Yeah.
Because it was hard as hell, and it was you actually proving you deserve a degree.
Yeah, and let's be real here. Like, most of the presidents that have been in office, they usually have someone read stuff to them, and they usually have someone translate things for them, and then they advise them, and that's half the time what the vice president's job is to do. So it's,
Well, that's
nothing
half
neither
of
here
the
nor there.
people that isn't the president. All right, I don't understand this. It's in legalese. Hey, you, my lawyer, translate this crap into English, or at least American, because technically we don't speak English.
Yeah,
We
you
went
don't
over
think
that last podcast.
Really, they like Trump or someone else in the office is like sitting with their little bill and being like, so, in addendum CA3, blah, 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 blah. No, they've got someone reading it to him and talking to him about it.
Yeah, but
Maybe
Trump
not
is a
forget
dumbass.
about it.
I'm just gonna do this. Sign. Send it in. It's not going anywhere because you're a douchebag and everybody knows it. Shut up.
I'm
Quit
being,
trying to pretend to be king.
yeah,
If you're gonna be king, no offense, get into office and do it.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't want to be king, but I want to be the guy who freaking rallies the world into becoming basically one nation. So that way we're not complete. What? That camera move?
No, who's calling me?
No, they're talking about us. They've said
Oh.
my name like 5 times.
Okay.
We're on a mission.
Apparently they're on a mission.
Well, if you're on a mission to go to hell, just jump off the top floor.
That's why I stood up, is because I heard my name. What?
Where's my 195 proof?
Oh, it's probably in the cabinet.
Which cabinet?
I thought it was
Very
right
top.
above the refrigerator or the
Very
cabinet right
top
next to
cabinet, right behind the fridge.
it. See, I knew right where that was.
Yeah, you watched me hide it one time.
Heck, I had you pull it
Because
out.
I wasn't
If
gonna,
could get
like-
a shot.
Well, I wasn't gonna have the kids like get into it and stuff because
Well,
they
yeah,
did
I mean,
everything.
but see, my biggest reason too for wanting to become government, because it's like, okay, let's legalize weed. For one, because I know it's a good painkiller, and for two, that stuff helps me go to sleep.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I understand that.
Because the biggest thing for me is, you have to have cancer to get it medically. That's bullcrap.
Yeah.
Because I have to be dying to prove that I actually need it for a painkiller. I'm sorry, that's kind of BS.
Right.
Especially because, like, in Oklahoma, where I used to live, that's how I got my weed, is from the people who had cancer. But they're like, ooh, they give me twice as much as I actually smoke because of the cancer. I can't smoke that much. Here, have some. Thanks for mowing my lawn. Thanks for doing, basically, maintenance works on my apartment complexes I own because I'm rich and old and have cancer.
Yep.
And the lady we got it from, her husband died like a year later. She died like 2 years later. And, well, she died after I left, so it would have been 2 years later. But it's a thing of, why are you giving the good stuff to people who are going to die? I mean, I understand the whole painkiller thing, but what about us who were living like me? I shouldn't be able to be standing and walking around and being able to get up here to do this sort of stuff. I should be stuck in a wheelchair, and y'all we'd had to figure out a way to get my ass all the way up the stairs.
Yeah.
But for pure willpower, is the only reason I'm moving. If I actually had medical marijuana or something that was the equivalent of, for the CBD, the well, not really the THC, more the CBD painkiller end,
Yeah.
I would use that on a daily basis because no pain, which means I can work out better, which is good for health. But it also means I don't have to worry about being in pain all the time.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people are like, everything sucks. I'm in pain. Like, I think it's fibromyalgia, or one of the other ones. The begins with the name. I can't remember its name.
It's not 20.
But it basically puts you in constant pain or messes with your muscles because you're in so much pain you can't use them anymore. So why don't we just make that stuff legal? Huh?
Mitosis. I'm trying to remember the name of it.
It's something like that. Yeah, you're in the right field. I can't remember the
Because
exact
my
name.
mom had it, I think.
Yeah, she did.
And, like, her spine was constantly grinding against itself. It was nasty and gnarly.
Well, I know a lot of people who have spine issues, and I'm like, with my disability, you'd think I'd have it.
There was a
Not an
time where
issue.
she was sitting at her chair, like in the kitchen, and she was just sitting there. She wasn't doing anything physical at all, just sitting there. Like, technically, it is a physical thing, but she was just sitting there. And she's, leaning forward like this, just like, and her face is like shaking. She's like, and like the whole time she's trying not to go into a seizure. And I had to sit there and watch her go through that shit. And it was hard, especially when she would look at the ceiling and go, "Oh, take me now," blah blah blah, and like I was just like going, "Come on, you're gonna last for a lot longer," and that was wrong. She's gone now, but yeah, she dealt with that every day.
Well, that's like me. The pain, it's like, nah, pain's life. Deal with it.
Yeah.
I wake up every morning in pain. Good, you know your life.
Mhm.
That's how I see it. Because if I don't have pain, one, I'm dead. Or two, somebody slipped something into a drink I drank the day before and I can't feel anything. Which isn't always a good thing.
Like,
Well, no,
filling
I
up
drink so much
edges, like,
water, it's kind of like bullshit.
just like nursing a bottle and shit.
Well, see, my thing is, I've never really been big on liquor. I mean, I
Yeah.
could outdrink anybody if I got back into drinking, like I used to. I could drink freaking a whole bottle of Everclear and not feel it.
Yeah.
But that's also when I was a lot younger, my metabolism was a lot faster.
Yeah.
Oh, itchy nose. But I mean, back then when I drank that much, I'm not supposed to because I wasn't 21, but it's like, screw you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was smoking so much weed, I should have been dead. No, I'm serious. I should have freaking died from alcohol poisoning, and with the excess in weed, it's not, okay, weed's not going to kill you, but it's like smoking too many cigarettes. Eventually, if you smoke too much at once, you're putting yourself in freaking basically cardiac arrest because you can't breathe because your lungs are so full of just, ugh.
Yeah, they're not full of oxygen at that point. They're just full of everything else that isn't oxygen.
Yeah. And the funny part is, I remember seeing all these truth things back in the early 2000s. Which is funny, I could say early 2000s because I was born in the 80s. I'm old. Whatever. But, but the thing is, it's the whole thing of, yeah, well, smoking weed is worse than smoking cigarettes because it does this, this, and this, and this to your lungs, just like cigarettes, but twice as much. I'm like, okay, that doesn't make sense because the only reason cigarettes kill you is cancer, and that kills you because of the tar, not because of nicotine. Nicotine is just the thing that gets you caught on cigarettes.
Yeah.
The tar and all the other chemicals is what kills you. But weed, it's pure unless you're adding crap to it, but then it's just, I'll get you higher faster. I don't want to be higher, I just want a painkiller.
Yeah.
Because I tried to get painkillers. This was when me and Teresa first moved into the apartment. Freaking forever ago. God, Connor's 10. So that had been 9 years, no, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And I had to go to try. I wanted to talk to my doctor because, okay, the medication you're giving me is not working because I've already been on it for like, I think it was like 3 or 4 months. And my body's got so used to it because I have such a high drug tolerance that no effect. Period. It's just, nah, you're not going to feel it no more. Okay, so I'll just stop texting. Tried to talk to the doctor, couldn't get my doctor, so I got the doctor in the attached office.
Yeah.
And I basically got the, well, I don't deal with narcotics, da-da-da-da. I'm like, no, dude, I want to figure out a different way to deal with it other than narcotics. Like, is there something that I can get that's not what you consider, you're just coming in for drugs? And it's like, I'm not coming in for drugs. I'm coming in to figure out a different situation, like physical therapy, something else that my insurance might cover. And the guy was a complete douche-ass, so I just stopped going to the doctor.
Yeah. What's funny is
Which is why I don't go to the doctors anymore, because one, now that I don't have the insurance, I can't afford it.
when I
But
broke
anyway.
this arm, and then when I broke this one, I broke this one like clean halfway through. But like this one, I just broke the burst plates. And each time the doctor prescribed narcotics and stuff because I was a teenager and everything, but also at the same time, he wanted to make sure that I wasn't like writhing in agony, and especially the second arm. And you know, the narcotics, about all they did was just provide as a painkiller. That's all they really did, which is probably why he did it. But I've never been in the position where you were at, where you go into the doctor and they're just like straight to get drugs. So it's just like,
If I
for
want
me,
to get
it's
drugs, you go to the free clinic, you do it that way.
yeah,
I'm sorry, with as crappy as the system is, and with this, I look like I'm homeless. No, I don't, I just got a beard.
yeah,
Actually, I got a whole freaking neck hair. I don't have just a beard, I have no flying.
yeah.
That's why I always think it's funny on TikTok. Yeah, a woman sitting on a man's face, sitting on a bearded man's face for 20 minutes a day makes her happy and she'll live longer because she's not angry. I'm like, I agree, sit on my face.
Right? You're just like, sit right here, just.
Yes. Well, I always see these white girls like, oh, I'll suffocate you. I will die happy, just shut up and get on your damn seat.
Yep.
But that was also me in like middle school and high school. No, that's disgusting. Oh my god, it's the best. Or the chick says, oh, my boyfriend just wants a blowjob. Well, that's because he's a bitch and won't go down on you.
Yep.
And I'll probably get whatever BS for it, but I don't care about talking about that because I'm sorry, I like talking the truth. If you're not going to go down on your woman, don't ask for a BJ. Me, I can give a crap if I get one. If I get one, yeah. If I don't, man, whatever. I'm still gonna freaking put my face between your legs, make you so happy when I put my hoo-ha in. You're gonna be like, holy shit, that's like 10 times better because you pre-started the engine. Well, yeah, you gotta pre-start the engine. If you go into a cold engine, you ain't gonna get nothing but ramming a fucking basically a brick wall with no lube. No, that shit was
What's funny is I always heard stories of how that shit works. It wasn't until later on that I was
in
actually
life.
doing things like that. But yeah, I have a very limited sex life compared to you.
Well, but see, the funny part is, I got my first BJ in first grade. Didn't even know what the hell it was. Then when I got to like 5th, 6th grade, I'm like,
Fucking bitch.
I don't care about that. I mean, it was okay in first grade. Of course, that kind of started my, you're going to, you know, that sort of stuff. Really? At that young? Dude, I started early at everything.
He skipped work
I ended up freaking jumping from
to our house.
5'3", no, 5'6" to where I am now in like 2 years.
Yeah.
And I dropped from 5 to 5'6" from the age of like 7 to 8.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I jump in height because of my genetics at the time. It was like, okay, I'm gonna hit it and go.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. And I know that about myself. That's like my brother. Nephi's goofy butt.
What about my goofy ass?
You're tall as fuck.
Thank you.
Shut up, Stooge. No. No, because of our genetics, if we lift weights all the time, like his job is basically lifting weights because he builds trailers. The ones like you see for Walmart taking and all these companies, that's where he works, at a factory that builds them. But because he does that all day, he's built like he's built like the Mack truck he's building the trailer for.
Built like a brick house.
Yeah.
No, brick house is lightweight, ho. No, not jigglies, ho.
Yeah, now you're jiggly jigglies.
See, you got him distracted. Now I can take over the show. I don't know. I don't memorize these whole stuff. I mean, I like Markiplier. He's a funny effort. But-
I had
I'm going to take over your whole army, Markiplier and Jacksepticeye. Sorry, I'm coming for your people because they're going to become my people and I'm going to take over the world and we're all going to rule everything and the governments are going to no longer be shit and trying to screw everybody by doing this stuff by rich, where's the damn camera for that one? Rich, medium, poor. No, it's going to be everybody has $1 million. You have 1 year to either screw yourself or let's see how this crap goes because we have enough money in the world for everybody to have $1 million.
His favorite threat and his favorite story to stick into it.
Yes.
Like,
What I mean,
hear about it all the time.
but that's the funny part. It's like everybody could have $1 million. Yeah, if we didn't have a system that screwed the people who were poor, and the only reason you're poor is because you grow up in that. That's like I've always grown up in a middle, like literally straight middle, or low middle class, or high low class.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. Let's make everybody rich. First, I'll get rich, and then I'll pass it along. Why? Because somebody who's always been poor, getting rich, I'm not going to be like some of these other people who've, I've won the lotto, burned the money in frickin' a year. What the hell are you, stupid? I mean, there's programs out there, CDs, all these other things that basically are tax write-offable, half of them. So you can run with the money like a, what is it, an IRA,
Yeah.
which basically is, hey, bank, here's some money. You get to buy the freaking stocks for me, and then I make money off it, you make money off it, but I only get like, I think it's like 5%. Well, it used to be 5%. I think it's like 2% to 1% now.
Something like that.
It sucks now. But I mean, if I'd had enough money back in the day, other than the BS $300 I got in a CD, because some dum-dum hit me, well, hit Nanny's van while I was in it,
Yep.
I'd end up freaking leaving half of it in the CD, just taking out my portion and just let the shit roll. But at the time, I was young, I was stupid. I'm like, oh, I can buy a car. Didn't work out. I ended up spending money on other stuff, which probably ended up putting me further back than I wanted to be. But, I mean, it is what it is. The system sucks because the people in charge who are rich don't want to help anybody else get there because, no, because now we're not the 1%ers or the 3%ers. Now we're all the same. Good.
Yeah, they want to like keep everyone
in
where
their
they
damn
are at.
place.
And-
Rich people want to keep poor people poor. Poor people want to kick rich people's ass and steal all their money. No, let's make everybody the same amount of money. Everybody has $500,000 sitting in the bank account. Guess what we're doing with the rest of the money? We're fixing all the damn roads. We're figuring out a way to make the roads so that way we don't have to fix them every goddamn year. So that way we're not spending half the damn spring and summer running through construction and screwing up our gas mileage on our cars.
Yeah.
And also make cars that are cheap enough that everybody can freaking have one for free. You're
That's
16. Pass the test. If you pass the test in this car that we just built and made brand new because you're testing it, it's your car. Okay, I'm done. Because the way the system runs with the money, it's all BS. If we ran it all where it was all, okay, you get this so you can live. You're not getting any more. We're giving you the seeds, the house, something to drive, or a cart, if you want to go all Amish style sort of thing. You get what you need.
Yep.
You don't get any more, you don't get any less. We're not going to charge you for electricity that you need to run your house, or gas. Because with electricity, with half the heaters, that's how you heat up your house. And the air conditioning units, well, I'm sorry, everybody should have one of those. It should be free. Right along with the heaters, the electric, the water. And I'm sorry, we need to fix our sewage system so that way it runs a little bit better. But the funny part is we still get freaking charged for sewage. And we get charged for other people to pick up our trash. Like Waste Management, and there's a couple other companies out there, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, who we have to pay through the city to pick up our trash and go dump it in a big pile and then throw dirt and grass on top of it and say, look, we didn't do this. And in 150 years, it'll be actual dirt.
Yeah.
No, it's more like 3,000 years, dum-dum. Look at what the hell you're putting into it. And it should no longer be the whole recycling bins. You have to pay for it. That's what I hate about this state and a few other states I've lived in, is the recycling trash can, you have to pay for it. Excuse me, when I recycled back in the freaking 90s and the early 2000s, I made money. I didn't have to pay somebody.
Yeah.
That's BS. That should be free. Everything should be free. You get your monthly stuff, and if you want extra stuff like a gym membership or that, you have to pay for it out of your own pocket. Because everybody still gets paid their wages. But the thing is, housing's free. You get one car, and you get utilities for free because that's part of living. Then all the homeless people, oh, I didn't like, because I know half the homeless people are rich a-holes are like, I'm tired of this. The system doesn't work. It's complete BS. That's why they have the mental issues, because the system doesn't work. It broke them. They said, screw this, I'm not playing in the system, and then they're down the streets, even though they're like multi-millionaires. It's like, dude, if you're a multi-millionaire, no offense to your kids, go screw off. Give it to the poor people. Help them out. Teach them how to do it and keep the money. That's what we need. The homeless people who are rich, or who used to be rich, and know how to run the system and do this stuff properly, even though I want to fix them so nobody can run it and it's all equal, but show people how to do it properly. And we also need to quit making our military freaking homeless, because that's BS, because they spend their whole lives fighting or protecting us. No matter what country you're in, that's their job.
But how would you go about doing this? Like, what is the process? How do we get from where we are now?
That's why I want to get an office, because I know how to talk about it,
How do we
but I
get
don't know the full system on how to go about it. I know I have to try to, okay, can we do this? No. Okay. Well, you have to sneak in what you want into what everybody else wants. Okay. So since none of y'all like tobacco, and you're all apprehensive about putting weed legal, excuse me, we'll tax it out the ass. Just the weed, not the cigarettes. No offense, we need to lower the taxes on cigarettes, because that's BS high. You want to kill yourself with cigarettes? Okay. That's your choice. Here's your poison.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. It is what it is. We need to also fix the tax system, because we weren't supposed to be taxed. We're still not supposed to be taxed. Because that stuff was supposed to end after World War II, and it never did.
Yeah.
Everybody just kept it going. We need to turn all the taxes down to like 1%, maybe 2%, to keep the system going. Because it completely screws everything up. I want to get in to try to fix the tax system first. And then if it's like, we don't have enough money. Yeah, we do. If everybody's on the same rowboat, we all have the same money, we all have this size house we need, not these freaking mansions that take up 2 blocks. No. If it takes up 2 blocks, that's at least 20 people that can live in that place.
Yeah. So you're suggesting is to completely change how not only the economy works, but also how society works with the way everything is. Because you have like the freedom to choose to live in a mansion, or you have the freedom to choose to live in an apartment, like we do, or like I do.
Yeah, whatever you need.
And so,
There's no offense to you
right?
and my sister. This sucks for y'all because it's too small.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Because how many kids you have? You guys actually would get a house on the system I want to build.
Right.
But that's like people tell me, oh, you should go for mayor first or like state, something else other than governor. I'm like, no, because if you start low, you get stuck low.
Did it burn when it
Yes, I was mayor for 5 years. Now where are you? City council for 50. No. You go for governor, you get governor, and then maybe you can move to either federal senate or you just, no, I'm going for president. People try to do it the small way, but then they end up doing it so small, they get screwed by getting stuck in one place. Hey, there's no cap limit on this job. We're going to keep you here because you're doing such a good job, and then you're stuck at that job. The pay's good, but once you've done 2 to 3 terms, you've basically done as much as you can.
Yeah.
You're basically just sitting there going, what are we doing? Oh, we'll just fix the roads. Oh, we'll just do this. Oh, we'll just do that. And it's like, no, we need to actually fix it. Not just go, it works. Oh, we need more money. Okay, tax them more. Make them pay more taxes. Why? Because, in my opinion, because I lived in Ohio before they started taxing food.
Yeah.
When the dollar menu at McDonald's was a fucking $1.
Yeah, now it's like $3, $2 and whatnot. They always they
Well,
have
no,
like
when
they
they
have like
changed
some
it
of the
in
stuff that's
Ohio-
$1, but it's like micro. It's like a macro.
It went from like $1 to $1.06 because you got to pay like 6.5 cents per tax.
They also got in trouble because of the whole Super Size Me documentary, so they had to completely change how their entire menu was.
BS, because if you want to be fat, be fat. But if you want to say you're healthy and you weigh 300 pounds, I actually saw a guy talking about this. Actually, one of the guys I like on TikTok because he's not a BSer, he's straightforward.
Right.
Look, you're beautiful the way you are, but don't be 300 to 400 pounds and say I'm healthy. Bullshit. Your body can't handle that, and the only reason you look badass in the legs is because carrying 300 to 400 pounds makes your legs work out so much. You don't need to go to the gym for your legs. I agree. You need to go to the gym, work out the rest of your body, and burn off some of that excess fat. I got a little because I've been kind of slacking on the gym. I know I have.
Yeah.
But I mean, the kids are at school, so I can't exactly do it. But next week when the kids are back to school, I'm going to be gone every day from basically when the kids go to school until noon.
So you had a normal winter break.
Yeah. As soon as see, that's what screws me. When they go on break, I get stuck at the house because the girls are always gone, or if I run off, it's like, where'd you go? I went to the gym. You left the kids here all by themselves. And you said if I needed to go do something, I can go do it. I went to the gym. We weren't awake. The kids can wake up. They burned the house down. Don't blame me because you can't smell smoking and wake the hell up. So, but see, that's the stuff. Those are the scenarios that go through my head. It's like, I get told I can do stuff, and then it's like, please don't leave. We need to go do stuff. Okay, what do you need to go do? Stuff. I need specifics. That's like me trying to work out the freaking money crap with Teresa. She's like, don't worry about it, I've got it. Yeah, and if we ever get divorced, the first thing you're gonna tell the court is he doesn't know how to pay the bills. Well, of course not, because you've been doing it for so long. Before I was freaking stable enough on my own self for the money stuff,
Yeah.
it wasn't possible for me to learn it because you're just like, I know how to do it, and you took over.
Yeah.
That'd be like, okay, I want to become governor. Why? So that way, one, I can learn how the hell the system works better than what I already know it works, because it doesn't, not 100%. And two, if I learn how to run the system better in the system, maybe I can fix all the potholes where it doesn't run good and everybody's so angry at it, and been angry at it since the freaking 80s that I've been listening to for the last 30 years.
So you're proposing we reduce taxes on the poor or the middle class, and then
I-
increase taxes on the higher class.
I say we reduce taxes on anybody who makes anything under $500,000 a year. If you make more than $500,000 a year, no offense. I don't care how much you donate to charity, you're only getting a third of that back. You're not getting the full amount back because, I'm sorry, the charities need it. You don't need to get it back. You donated to help them. And if you didn't, just so that way you can have more money, kiss my butt, we're going to fix the system. Because half the people who run for governor or mayor or state senate and federal senate and all that stuff, half of them that are in office were in office when I got into middle school or got into office when I was getting into or leaving high school. They've been in too long. They need to be out. We need the younger generation, my age, almost 40, and your age, hitting 30, because 30 is like the minimum in 90% of the states to become governor or lieutenant governor.
Yeah.
Because I'm almost 40, I'm like, I've been waiting for somebody I can run with. You're almost 30. It
Yeah.
makes it perfect for me, so I'm like, all right, we're doing it. I set it out. Oh, we also need to this week work on unless you guys have a suggestion, either way, because if this, when I download this to YouTube, put it in the comments. How to start not a GoFundMe, a Kickstarter to become governor and lieutenant governor for a fundraiser, because me being on disability, I don't make enough money to be able to do that. If I did, I'd already put my name in freaking 10 years ago. Piss off everybody. No, I'm serious, because when I first moved out here, it was, let's see, it's 2020, so that'd have been, I moved out here in 06. So that's 14 years,
Yeah, 14
Back?
years ago.
which puts me at 24.
Yeah.
So I'd only had to wait 6 years, and then I'd have ran for office if I'd had enough money in my back pocket to just, okay, I'm just going to do it.
You're a power hungry rebel.
Yeah.
Shut up, no, I'm not.
You're not a Virgo.
That's why I said I'm not a rebel. Anywho, where were you? Sorry, I completely
I'm a
took that
Virgo.
over. I knew that.
I'm a Virgo. No, yeah, I know it's spent the last 20, 30 minutes getting you to talk about certain other parts of that topic because you really wanted to run with it. I was just like, well, just let him talk a little bit and just nod my head and say yes. And just say I understand.
Well, if you don't understand, tell me now, and then we'll fix
Well, that's why I figured I would ask questions about how you would do it. Like, because there's one thing to tell the audience this is what I'm gonna do. A lot of what they
not
don't
what I'm
get.
going to do, it's what I want to do. Because I only know certain parts of the system, and I know I've looked up some stuff on the internet, but even the internet, even the freaking actual stuff you can look up through the government offices, it only tells you so much. You don't learn half of it till you're in office. And they don't teach us half the stuff we need to learn in school, so that way if you want to run for governor or president or any of that stuff, how to do it.
Well, that's my job as lieutenant governor, I guess, is to learn everything before you get into office and do a bunch of prep work. But
You'll
like,
be the background guy
but
while
like-
I'm the pretty face.
but yeah, essentially. And so
I'm okay with that, no offense.
And so, like, a lot of times I'll sit there and I'll notice that, other people have the same concerns. They just don't take the time to voice it because they feel depowered and they feel voiceless. But a lot of times, a lot of these people that are running for officers, people who are in office and stay incumbent for 2 to 3 decades, they
Or
do
longer.
exactly the approach you did, but they don't take the time to really explain how they're going to do it and what
Let's fight
process they're
against
going to
drugs.
choose.
Why are you fighting against
And-
drugs? What did drugs do to you?
They don't explain the process, and so people just hear a bunch of, I'm going to do this is what's going to happen, blah, 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 and then they go, how does that work? And so,
Well, that's why I said I'm not going to do.
The
I'm going
science
to
of it.
try.
yeah, the science of it.
Yeah,
That's
because
basically what I was
you got to
looking for.
figure it out once you get in office. Because that's I'm going to do it while I'm in office. Yeah, that's like Trump. He didn't do shit. Why? Because he doesn't know how the system works. Because he didn't get in office, figure out how the system
He sure
works,
as hell
and
tweets
then
about
did
what he
it.
does. He sure as hell tweets about what he does.
Yeah, he tweets about I did this, even though he only signed a piece of paper which don't mean shit because he didn't. The rest of the steps is the other guys have got to figure
Well,
it
look
out
at it
or
this
agree
way
with
as
you.
well. It's this newest stimulus that they're talking about, the 5,500-page document. He didn't actually write any of it that I know of. Like, he didn't author a lot of it. Like, it was all them. In fact, he blasted them on Twitter and was like, remove the pork. And he was, like, talking about it as if, like, he had nothing to do
All
with
the
stimulus.
guys that he had that are on his list of people that do the stuff he wants done.
He needs the president.
Basically took the stimulus from 2000 to
600.
well, no, it was like 12.
Well, it was 1,200 is what the
It
original
was
stimulus
no,
was.
originally it was 2000. Then it was dropped to 12, and that's when they started talking about it
They
in
were
the
talking
opening.
about it being
And then they
2,000.
dropped it to 6, and then he just said, "Well, I'm not gonna do it unless it's 2000." Dude, that's what it originally was, and all the guys that were
Bernie
backing
and
you.
Bernie
basically-
Campbell and quite a few other people that are political figures originally tried pushing for 2,000, settled for 1,200. After that stimulus happened, then shortly after that, Bernie and the rest of the
The
crew
GOP
decided
knocked
to
it down to
push more.
6.
Yeah, then they knocked it down to 6 recently because of the fact that they figured half. And it's kind of crazy how the numbers work, because when they knocked it down to 6, a lot of people that are single or the people who are struggling adults who are not married, or they are married and they just don't have children, they're going to be stuck with the 600, while a lot of people that are married and have kids are going to have like $3,000 or whatnot, and then all of it's going to burn
But
quickly
that's
because they're going
only
to
if-
inflate everything.
But see, here's the thing. It's I filed for taxes. Yeah, but did you file as a couple? Because if you didn't file as a couple, you're not going to get the 600 for your significant other. You're just going to get 600, and they're going to be SOL.
Yeah, I just don't.
That's
think
something I learned when I first got on disability. I still had to file with my wife when she had a job for taxes, because the funny part about that was if I didn't file with her, I didn't get counted or anything. So because of the age I was, we didn't get the earned income credit.
Yeah.
But because my name was on there because of my age and because of how long I'd worked before I got on disability, we got the earned income credit the last 2-3 years. No, the last 2 years she was working.
Yeah.
It's that fine little details you got to pay attention to, or ask the accountant or H&R or wherever you're going to file your taxes about.
You know what my thoughts are during a crisis, by the way?
What,
My
the
thoughts-
last crisis that
Yeah,
here's hoping
like,
ends
this,
in the next
this
6 months?
crisis has really made me think about how you would run a city, a government, a state, whatnot, country.
Uh-huh.
And it's really made me think about the fact that in a crisis, they were so focused on arguing about money, they weren't focused a whole lot on fixing the money problem. And the problem is that when you print more money, and you borrow, or however they dug the money out to give to people, the problem is that also devalues it, while also trying to create this funnel in which they take a bunch of money, they spread it out everywhere, they send money overseas to help pay off the debt, and it's like a down payment. And then what they do is they take, and everyone gets mad at them for it, but that's partially Donald Trump's fault for starting that craziness. But they try to, and by the way, I'm taking business school, so my business major is business administration, and I'm taking a minor in entrepreneurship. So I have an educational background in how money works. And one of the things I learned about accounting and learned about intro to business is that when you are trying to front money and try to start a business, or when you're trying to account for it, you have to account for everything, including what's in the account receivables and what's in the other accounts. And when you're borrowing money, that means you don't own the money. That means you are literally borrowing. Someone's lending it to you. So if we borrowed money to spend money, literally part of the stimulus does have to go overseas, because that has to pay someone back. And
Well, yeah.
what people
Plus,
don't
it also
realize-
pays the military that's at his
Right.
country.
But the problem is that when the stimulus only has 35 million of it, or whatever that figure net was, lower than 100, and that's dedicated to the businesses, that's dedicated to PPE, that's dedicated to all that good stuff, then you've got the 300 million that is meant for, hold on,
Why did that freeze?
because it's stupid.
Okay.
So, part 2.
Yeah.
basically-
the computer stopped recording. Sorry
Computer
for that,
stopped
guys.
recording, it froze. But basically the gist that I was talking about was that when you are borrowing money and you're spending money, you have a couple different accounts that you can look at. You have accounts receivable, and then you have the other accounts. And the problem is when you're lending money, you're having to repay it back. And so one of the things that they talked about was that that type of stuff, which is why they're arguing about money in the first place. But that being said, they have like maybe 25 to 30% of that stimulus that's actually going to a stimulus, rather than going
to the
toward
actual population.
that's rather than going to the actual people that it's trying to help. And so that's one problem I have with the stimulus. And that's why I think that if you're going to be in government, or you're going to be lieutenant governor or whatnot, or governor, it's one thing we have to find a way to change is how our specific state runs things when it comes to stimulus, and maybe even create our own state stimulus, like when there's crisis, rather than just waiting for the federal government to create everything. Try to fix the problem rather than wait for someone else to fix it. And so, like, for instance, Herbert recently, he has been waiting for the federal government to do a lot of things, and he'll basically do whatever, like, he'll do things for Utah here and there, but he's more passive about it. In fact, half the time he acted like it wasn't
Well, I
there.
think he didn't run this year also because he was just bored. He's like, I've done enough.
Yeah,
I've done
like,
what I can. Let
it was
somebody else
like
do
he
it.
was sort of just sitting in for the governor position rather than really acting as the governor.
Well,
really,
that's what,
really
like I
governing.
was saying. You get to a certain point, it's like, dudes, I can't do anymore. Everybody knows my name. They're either just gonna sit there and tell me to F off.
Right, and so
So he's like, all right, let the next guy try.
yeah, so that's why I was like, going, if I'm going to be a lieutenant governor, there's one thing that I want to be focusing on is how you run a system and how you can fix it. And I've spent enough time, early 20s, talking to friends, talking to buddies about how we would do that thing. And so I want to see if that thing that we talked about doing will actually be effective, or if I'm literally going to make, like, small micro changes that eventually lead to a big change, and then if people end up hating me anyway. So,
Everybody hates government. That's why we need to fix it. Make it not government.
yeah.
Well, that's like one of my jokes was, no, we won't run. We'll run for government, but we'll fix it. We'll make it old school. I'm king. You're like vice king or whatever the heck. We'll do some bullshit about it.
It's not a monarchy, that's the thing.
But see, there's the thing. We turn the state we're in into a freaking its own country. Then we take over all the states around us. Then we take over the whole thing. And then we take care of everything above and below. And once we basically are in charge of all of it, it's like, okay, I'm almost dead. Let's take over the countries that aren't attached. But see, then that creates the, we don't want to do that. Because that was like, hang on, brain fart. Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
He was voted into office, and then he tried to become king, the freaking Fuhrer, and take over everything. It's like, no, you don't want to take over everything. But he was also a racist ass, so
Yeah.
that didn't exactly work like he wanted it to. I mean, he knew how to get into the system and get on board, but I don't want to change it from the outside. I actually want to get in the government so that way I can try to help or fix stuff. But the bad part is, you get it in, you got to get in high enough to actually change stuff. And if you
Yeah.
don't, then it's kind of pointless and you're moving ass backwards while you're trying to fix everything that's broken.
That's kind of how the last guy, not this last guy, but the last guy before him, the 2 terms he ran and everything like that, and the changes he was trying to make, he stopped at every turn. And yes,
Well,
I'm
not all
Iraq,
of them, but most
but
of them, yeah.
he was stopped at every turn, and in federal office, office of the president, and he was stopped at every turn, and the main thing he focused on, of course, was healthcare. But like, he was trying to do what he could to fix things, and you're dealing with, like you said, a system that's been broken for like 50, 60 plus 70 years, and then you turn around and Donald says the exact same thing on camera to everybody, talking about how broken everything is. And so you've got like these
But yeah,
presidents
he's
who are
trying
in
to
office.
fix it, but see, there's the thing. He's like, I'm basically God. I'm
Yeah,
king.
he's
It's like, no,
single-handedly
dude.
fix everything.
Because
It's
you
like,
gotta
no, you're not.
freaking make it so everybody agrees, so we can all do this together.
Yeah,
But he didn't go about it the right way. No, I signed a piece of paper. You gotta freaking do what I say. No, dude.
And he kept saying, "Put it on my desk. Put it on my desk." And it's like, okay, put what on your desk? Put the bill. Put what's in the bill. What's going on with this legislation? What are you fixing? And
And when he changed it to try to do what the people wanted, it didn't go nowhere because he didn't fix it properly, so both sides would sign and it would be fixed. Or he just said, yeah, I did that, but nothing happened because he didn't do a damn thing except for
yeah, you have your
stamp,
Congress.
okay, my name's on it.
You have your all sacred Congress of over 300 members, and when you're telling 300 members to do a thing and they're not doing the thing, it's kind of like telling your
That's
trash
why
crew full of 30
Republican
people
and
to pick up the trash.
Democrat and
leave everything
independent
everywhere.
and all that's complete BS.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm gonna stay with my people. No, I'm gonna stay with my people. I don't give a crap about either one of you, but we're not gonna do anything y'all want to do because you're assholes. It's like, okay, can we like go back to democracy where everybody puts in their own opinion, not by party opinion, by your
Yeah.
actual opinion of what stuff should be done to fix it. Because if you don't try to fix it, you're basically just saying, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. Stop.
That reminds me of another thing I think we should focus on if we're going to be in office is
Which is?
have libertarians and have independent people who don't identify with a party affiliation in office with us.
I just
People
think
who
we
are
need
diverse,
to make a
people who
new
are different, and
political party.
people who are younger and fresher blood. That way, we're not the fresh blood in the office facing a ton of opposition from every other office.
Well, that's what I'm
bringing
saying.
in
We
new
need
people.
to get into office, and once we get into office, it's like, okay, everybody that's our age that has been talking about we need to fix the system. Of course, that's also half of why I wanted to do the podcast streams on my Twitch and put it on YouTube is, hey, people that's my age, 38, or his age, 29, who's going to be 30 this next year, let's get our names in the ballots. Let's start GoFundMe's or Kickstarters and all get the money that we don't have. Of course, if you have the money and you actually want to fix the system, not like, no, I'm rich, I want to stay rich. No, I don't want those people. I want the people who actually want to fix the system.
Yep.
Because the low middle class and lower, even the high middle class,
We're
should
shrinking.
know that we need to fix the system because the 1%ers screw it for all of us because that's usually who's in office. Because once you get in office, you get paid so much, you become a 1%er.
Yep.
I want to get in office, keep myself at a freaking middle class to low middle class the way I run everything because that's what I was taught. That's how I was raised. Okay, no, we pay our bills. We make sure there's food on the table. We move from there. Now, if we can do that for everybody without completely breaking the bank, even though the bank's complete BS and they have money, even though they don't say they have money, because half the money they do, like we were talking about with the loans, is complete BS.
Yep.
We need to fix the system so that way, if they say they have the money, then that's what they give you, actual money.
Yeah.
Because all this digital crap, this fake money, this promised money, is BS. Basically, fix it so that way, anybody who has a home loan, if the bank actually doesn't have the millions of dollars to do all those hundreds of thousands of dollars in loans, all home loans are done and basically you own your house for nothing. Because you shouldn't have to pay $1,000 plus, and well, because interest just went down because of the crappy year we just had. But it's the thing of $800 or more dollars, but like I said, it's usually $1,000 up on your mortgage. The bad part is, well, dude, that's how much it costs to freaking rent an apartment now. That's kind of BS that it costs as much to rent an apartment as it does to buy a house. But because you're renting an apartment, you can't save up enough money to put a down payment to get a loan to buy a house. And
Yep.
look at all these houses that nobody's buying that are just sitting there going, ooh, we're for sale, ooh, we're for sale. Because everybody keeps moving to go get jobs that make more money, but yet nobody's paying off anything. It's all complete BS. The only way you pay off your house is by selling it, pay off the bank, to go buy a new house. Because whatever you didn't have to pay off, because you've already been paying on your house for 7 to 10 years, is the money you have for down payment to buy a new house. It's like, okay, that's infinity BS. We owe people money who don't have money because they're imaginary. F you, man.
Right.
Because I'm sorry, that's irritating. I mean, because I know with as much as my home loan cost, even though my credit was decent at the time, it was like 7 something.
Yeah.
Now, because I got a home loan, it's at like 6 something.
Hmm.
I'm like, that's complete BS.
Hey Tim, are you guys still going?
Yeah.
I need Thomas's help. The bunk bed came unscrewed and it's barely holding on.
Go.
I'll be right back.
I got this home
Your time. Your turn.
Grab the toolbox.
The what?
Grab the
toolbox.
Where's the toolbox?
Under shit.
Oh, yeah, it's right there.
What was I talking about?
You were
Oh, yeah.
about home loans, percentages.
Well, loans and whatnot. For one, we need to. The interest rate is crap right now, so any loan you have is decent. So that part's not really the big issue right now. Because of the crappy year we've had, all the loans are kind of basically just, well, you don't have to pay that much because interest rates going down, because the market's going to crap, because nobody has any money. But the real part is, all the loans, like I was talking about, I heard something from a guy doing some sort of like on-stage BS podcast about, this is how we're helping, I can't remember what region it was in Africa, but it's the thing of, we're helping these people through the banks because they don't have the money, and you can't give a loan to somebody so that way they can buy a house or buy land for themselves when you ain't got the money yourselves. You're giving a BS loan for money you're going to get from them 3 times that much because of how much they're paying. Like, half the home loans are like 30 years. Well, 15 to 30 years. Maybe even, I think, the longest one is 45 to 50. But by the time you're done paying your loan, that's even on your cars. You're paying 2 to 3 times what the original loan was because of interest and BS. And that's kind of bullcrap. If my car's worth $10,000, the loan should be, okay, you're going to pay this much until you pay off the $10,000 the bank gave you. So that way, it's equal. It's flat. It's not you're paying $20,000 for a $10,000 car. That's BS. But this is some of the stuff I want to fix when going into office. No, don't block Goku. But, plus if we fix that, then we'll have enough money, in my opinion, or at least we should, if we fix the system, the economy, so that way the schools get what they need, but they don't have to pay outrageous amounts to get the funding for it, because it's just, okay, no, you're getting it because it's a school, you need this stuff. Now, the only ones I think should pay for the school stuff is private schools, or schools where you have to pay for it. If you have to pay to get your kid into this school because it's so badass or kick butt, that is the school that should have to pay out the wazoo. Public schools should not have to pay out the butt, even though they get the tax write-offable for the teachers and stuff to buy supplies for the school. The funny part is, they're paying out of their own pocket 99% of the time. And that's BS. Even with the dollar store, Dollar Tree, whatever you want to call it, that has stuff at a decent price, it's still BS how much you have to pay to get decent supplies for the students. Because I've even, let's see, I think this last year, school year when it started in 2020, was, no, you don't have to pay for all this stuff. The school will fork out the money. Well, yeah, the school forked out some of the money, but so did the teachers. And teachers don't get paid enough. I mean, they get paid decent money, but, I mean, that's also like me, being disabled. Well, I'm disabled, but guess what? I still get effed because I make less than half of minimum wage. And the funny part is, with everybody getting paid $9 or more, which is more than minimum wage, I'm getting more effed. Because I still have to pay money out the butt to do stuff, even though I'm a lower income household. And on that, the funny part is, my kids qualify for medical through the state because I'm on disability, but yet me being on disability, I make too much for me to get medical, for one, and for two, the brackets drop so much, but yet still so much higher than, makes my money look like it's twice as much as it actually is, even though I can barely afford to buy the house I'm buying, that it ends up being, I get screwed because they don't get food stamps because I make too much, even though I make less than minimum wage, which is BS. Just because I'm disabled doesn't mean I'm a slacker. It means I have a physical or mental disability that makes it hard. Now, do I have mental issues? Oh yes, everybody does. I mean, have you seen all the names they've come up with in the last 10 years? To try to say, well, I have this, I have that. Dude, I've had that symptom and those things since I was a little kid. But I grew up in the 80s and the 90s where it was like, shut up, we don't care, you don't need medicine, figure your own crap out, and be strong. I try to teach that to my kids, be strong, don't fight it unless you're defending yourself like I got taught. And then my kids get in trouble, well, my son more than anybody, gets in trouble for defending himself against bullies or trying to defend the rules that the teacher set, but yet he gets in trouble because another kid wants to be a butt and then starts to fight with him, even though he's like, no, we were told this, remember? And talks all nice and calmly, and they're like, shut up, I'm gonna do it my way. And like, it's like, dudes, no. But that's also where kids need therapists and actual. I like some of the counselors nowadays, but they need therapists that can actually help them with that sort of stuff. So that way, it's not the you have anger issues. No, the kid that picked on me or tried to fight with me has anger issues because his parents are drunk, always work so that way they can afford the bills, and all this other stuff that just makes it so hard to one, be a parent, or two, be a kid because you're stressed out because your parents are never home, one or both of them, and it sucks because nobody's ever there because everybody's trying to take care of bills and work their butts off. And if you got 2 or 3 jobs, or like me, you're disabled, and the government rules say I can make up to 900 and something without it affecting my disability a month if I actually have a job, but yet that's so low on the actually making money, because if I make more than, I think it was $9.25 a month, and I can't do that having any minimum wage job, because that's not 40 hours a week, one, which is good for my disability because I'm not working myself to death, but two, that's such a little amount of money. It barely helps. It'll help a little bit if I'm trying to feed myself while I'm off working or trying to do other stuff. Like I try to eat like I know I'm supposed to while I'm working out, but with everything going on in my life, I can't exactly do that. And then I end up eating too much food at home, and then I get fussed at because I'm not fussing at you because you're eating too much. I'm fussing at you because you apparently don't see how much you eat. No, I see how much I eat. That's why I'm trying to do stuff to make a few extra bucks, like donate plasma. Basically selling your soul to help make medicine. So that way other people can live. But I'm a douche because I try to use some of that extra money I'm making on the side to buy myself food, so that way I'm not hurting my family by eating all the food that's supposed to be for everybody else in the household. I'm trying to keep on task. So I have to do stuff so that way I can afford to feed myself the amount of protein I need to build muscles to basically become like Goku here. Gotta get my fingers straight. Sorry you can't see that on Twitch, but it's on the video. It'll be on YouTube. Dark Thandar on YouTube. But yeah, it's weird how that works, because you can't do what you need to do to become strong, to do what they've proven to make muscles. And the funny part is, the last person who complained at me about how much I eat didn't understand you gotta eat like that to build muscle. And then the funny part is, because the food tastes so good, my kids are like, "Ooh, I want some." And then I got fussed at by my significant other that, "You need to quit feeding them that. That's for bodybuilders." I'm like, "No, it's high protein diet. It's not for bodybuilders. It's so that way you don't put on extra fat. It's so that way, because you're eating so much protein, you're burning more calories than you're putting in. So that way you're actually in the negative on your calories, or right on par with your calories, and you can build muscle without having to worry about screwing the whole system or yourself, but yet you can still be healthy, you can still be fit, and you don't have to be young." Because this year now, because we're in 2021, I'm basically going to the gym every day, except for like the last couple of weeks because of kids being out of school. I can't run off at the butt crack of dawn. Well, almost the butt crack of dawn. Is like 9 o'clock and 8, between 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym to work out for 2 to 3 hours.
Yep.
So that way I can be badass, ripped as hell, and telling everybody, "Screw you, I am this awesome." Even though I already know I am this awesome. I'm just not completely this awesome because my peckers aren't all that big.
It's like what
My
are you doing?
pecker is, but my pecs aren't.
Build more muscles. Remember that?
Yeah, well, no, I was trying to do it with Mom and Judy, but that didn't work out because I had the weights too low for them, so my muscles didn't go. Look at this. So I'm like,
Yeah.
well, that sucks. I'm about ready to delete those videos. They didn't show enough muscle. when we go work out, we're gonna have to put more weights on it so that way I can actually show my flicks and put that on YouTube.
He wants to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger, the governor of California, except for
No, I want to make that motherfucker look like he's small compared to me.
He wants to make Arnold look like a Chihuahua while he's the Doberman.
Well, before I get into government and while in government.
Yep.
Hey, we need some stuff done. Oh, you gotta wait, my workout's not done yet. Dude, you've been in here for 6 hours. Shut up, I got 1 more hour. That's what I want. I want to be the guy who's arrogant, but at the same time, I know it's not arrogance. It's just me knowing I'm that badass. Because I know I am. I've always had that mentality. I taught that to Amber, which she didn't fully take it on. But, I mean, she still has that arrogance, pride. Even though pride's a bad word to use. Because it's just, I know I'm that badass. I just am.
No. Like, she's kind of like that when she decides to be sultry. But for some reason, she's, like, way too fucking humble. And, like, will talk trash on herself first before she ever compliments herself.
That's a fucking chick thing.
Yeah.
Those guys were so asshole.
She's, like, over there flipping off right now, just so you know.
I saw. But it's kind of like
down.
the whole guy thing. We're too prideful because we think we're badass when we're not. Actually, no, you are that badass. Male or female. Everybody looks good. Everybody's attractive. It's just, if you don't believe it, nobody else is going to believe it. That's like, no offense to the chicks who keep getting guys who beat the crap out of them. But it's because I'm worthless. I don't deserve a good man. And then the next guy's like, she's an easy target. I'm going to pick her.
Yeah, especially since dudes love submissive chicks.
Well, it's not even that. Some people misunderstand what submissive and dominant is. They don't have the right mentality. I'm BDSM. Dude, you don't even know what the real freaking thing is because the way it is now, it's, no offense, but some of the older guys from BDSM from like the 70s and the 80s who were like my age, 38 at that time, maybe a little bit younger, like 30, got taught what's going on now is kind of light. It's like, you are a light ass. You're a lightweight. You can't handle what I got taught when I was your age. No, because everybody's broken. That's why I like, no offense to my family, and we've proven it with Cam, my brother's wife, that because she's not a potter and I had to deal with some of the pain and stuff. I mean, even with you, with your last name, it's the P's. That's why we call this the crazy P's. Because we have the mentality of, no, pain is not an issue. Why? Because pain is life. We deal with it. We keep moving. I mean, the only one who doesn't act like that in your family is your stupid little brother. Shut up, bitch. Grow up.
Yeah,
Excuse my French, but
tonight he was less than stellar about things. He always tries to. He always tries to get me and like his friend Jonah and like.
Or me when I'm in the background, I say bullshit.
Yeah, like he tries to get them to validate him, and he goes over the top with it. And today, him and Jose got in an argument again, and it led to escalation in which they were, they basically physically got involved, and then one of them had to separate from the other, and it was not a fun time hearing them talk about it, so that's a thing.
No, but stupid is as stupid does, and I'm sorry, that's a factor. Humans are stupid. Now, we might be dumb creatures, but we're not all dumb. Some of us are actually stupid. I'm sorry, you can't. I'm going to take a Ron here, Ron White. I think it was White. Yeah. You can't fix stupid. No, you can't. You can try to teach them smart, but that doesn't always work either.
Yeah.
Sorry, background BS. Gotta blow my nose. Oh. I hate this time of year. My freaking nose gets stuffed up. It's COVID. No, it's not. I just got nose issues. I've had this issue since I lived in Oklahoma. The only crappy part about Oklahoma was so moist.
I partially blame media for why everyone just assumes COVID for everything now.
Well, yes, because you're sick. That must be the disease that's killing everybody. No, it's called the common cold, dum-dum.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I've been doing this for 38 years. I know what the symptoms are for me. The symptoms are absolutely nothing. I don't get symptoms anymore. I get a stuffy nose because I have bad circulation in my nose and bad breathing because I can't breathe through my nose because of when I was growing up, I never learned how to do that properly. That's a mental thing, and I know that. I've tried to teach myself how to breathe through my nose, but that's also like the whole breathing thing, where you're not supposed to breathe through your chest. Go, no, you're supposed to breathe through your diaphragm. But if you breathe through your diaphragm properly,
By the way,
so
that's
basically you're doing your own workout.
That's how he also does his little pet presses. Like he'll be at the gym, he'll be like, and like his like pushing it all the way up with his arms, but he's focusing more on his chest, and he's just like,
Well, you gotta show off. You gotta show it off.
We're constantly to spot him and stuff, and I'll like go over there and I'll be like watching him, and then like I'll like try to grab it, and he'll be like, fine, and then like sometimes he'll play it off.
That's my pompous.
Totally straining and being like his face is turning beet red, and he's just like, "Arr!" And I'm just like going, I don't know.
Exactly. No, but see, that's half the fun of working out. You're gonna drop it, and you gotta get the extra energy.
Yeah, he watched too much Dragon Ball Z and he's like when he was younger.
Well, no, it's also watching half of the video. Well,
Wrestling, Dragon Ball Z.
not even
all that
wrestling.
stuff.
It's just watching some of these people work out. Like the one guy I showed you, which I can't show you because my phone's up there. Remember it? Well, no, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. That's on
Twitch.
YouTube. It's the guy who I showed you, and you liked his humor because it's the if you're not running and actually trying, you're basically doing a half-ass workout. Exactly. If your face isn't ready and that last rep isn't that hard, dude, you ain't got enough weight on there. Put more weight on or do 2 more reps. Because if you're not pushing yourself hard, then you're not technically working out. You're just, I'm flexing my muscles. No, I want to push myself hard so that way I make Goku look like a bitch.
Yeah, for me it's
And
like
that's my mentality.
whenever I've been pressing and stuff like that and do my own workouts and stuff, I'm always trying to like pace myself essentially, get into like a rhythm and a flow of it, because it's like you're basically moving your body just repeatedly one way, and you're just like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, but you gotta stop counting. It's the I'm gonna do. You count, but you're not doing it to a certain number. You do it until that hurts, like my arms are gonna fall off. Okay, 2 more reps because my arms are gonna fall off. But if I go that hard, in 3 or 4 days, you'll actually notice I went from here to look at those shoulders, sort of thing. But that's like the whole. Let's record me actually working out and lifting heavy weights. Oh wait, we can't. DeFi's never in town on workout day. Shit.
Yep.
No offense, bro, but that's the truth. But that's my mentality with life. You don't know how you're doing it. You're doing bad form. Well, if you want to know the truth, Arnold, the guy who originally played the Hulk, and all those weightlifters around that time, in the 70s and the 80s, well, they were big in the 60s and 70s, and stayed big in the 80s. Why? Because their form was crap, so they put in so much muscles that you're not supposed to put in the exercise that it's actually funny, because they ended up getting big as shit because their form was crap.
Yeah.
That's why it's like, form. No, fuck form, dude. Work out. If you can't fill it in that muscle, change the workout till you can.
Yeah.
Because everybody's different. I can't feel the bench press doing this. Okay, well, pull your arms further back. Oh, I feel that in my chest. Oh, yeah, don't go all the way up here. Just that little right here, because it pulls right there, and it's this mind-muscle connection, because if you can't feel the muscle you're trying to work out, you're doing it wrong. You need to change it so that way you can feel it. No, and I was also doing it wrong up here. It's more like here. Because if you do it here, it's not really... That's just here. But for actual chest, it's here, because that's straight across.
So this just turned into PE class, just so you know.
No, I was talking about working out, and we just went on with it. I like working out.
It's like weightlifting / PE class 101. You're back in high school, kids.
You know what? I hate it. I hated high school for the simple fact is, for lifting weights was great for the first like year to 2 years. On the last year, which is the other reason I kind of left my senior year. Sorry, brain fart. Leave me alone. But my senior year is because the weightlifting teacher came up with a new thing. You have to run around the whole football field, and I think I brought this up last time on the stream, the last one, to lift weights. And I'm like, dude, I can't do that. My legs are physically handicapped. That's the only thing that's physically handicapped on me. I want to go into the gym to work out, but But the way they set it up for the football team gym,
Yeah.
it was basically a mini field, so that way they could run their whatever, their things. So that way everybody knew their place. So that way everybody knew what it was on the inside when it was too cold in winter. Pussies. But the thing was, they didn't have the leg press machine, which I liked, which was in the mini freaking one that was okay. Let me get it here on camera, right? You had the workout the changing room, the football field, the new workout room that they just made for them to do their plays, and the little weights that were over here. But the one that was over here actually had the leg press and just bench press stuff.
Yeah.
And I liked working out in that one because I could do incline, decline, regular bench press, freaking leg press like I like to do. You've seen me do leg presses, dude. No, only do 10. Bullshit, my legs are crap. I'm going to take it to 20 to 30. Why? Because I'm an asshole and screw my legs. They'll recover in 3 days. And then I'll do more legs. But for those 2 days in between legs, I'm doing all upper body. It's all build this big. Because if this gets bigger, I'll end up building bigger legs. Because my biggest muscle on my lower half of my body is my thighs.
Yeah.
They're like freaking. Move this way.
Big boys.
They're this big.
Some big, some small, some the size of your head.
Well, no, my freaking thighs are literally the size of my head, like this. So it's like, okay, I just need to work on the calves. And I've been doing that for the last 6 months. The bad part is with the disability, I can't flex it, so you can't see it. But I can tell.
Like, stand up right now, and then you can show it off with your camera. You can rip the jeans a little bit up.
Oh, you talking about that I can't flex them?
No, they just flex them and like show them off a little bit.
Yeah, but see my calves. Yeah, okay, gotta move in more.
Yeah.
My calves are small. They don't
Yeah.
flex.
Okay.
Because also CMT deteriorates your muscles.
No, actually, that I have disproven that factor. It's not CMT. Does the Charcot Marie Tooth, which is my disability, she says CMT because that's our shorthand for it. What it does is if you don't work out your muscles enough, like last year, my bicep was like twice the size.
Yeah.
But that's because I was on a constant workout. Now that, no offense, the little brother that was sitting here trying to block Goku and
Yes.
Spider-Man's fusion with his big ass head. But the thing is, if I'm on a constant workout, the thing with the CMT is if you constantly work out the muscles, they grow. If you stop or slack on your workout, they deteriorate in size, not in actual strength. Because I proved this because when I first started going to the gym with Nephi, when I was using his Bring Somebody With You membership, before I decided to start paying for it myself, when he decided to stop for, I think it was like 6 months, paying for the Bring a Friend With You membership, I ended up bench pressing 135, because the bar's 45, and then you have the 45 on each side, which is 90, plus 45 is 135. For fun, I did that to see if I could still do what I did in high school, and I did it better than I did in high school. I did like 5 to 10 reps.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not back there now because I kind of slacked because Nephi wouldn't go with me all the time. He was working. The schedule didn't work out. But when I was going with him for a year, I was doing that. And heck, I've even got Mom and Amber who could barely do the bar when we first started working out. When I first started working out with them, what was it, 3-4 months ago now?
About 3 months.
Yeah. But the thing is, now y'all can do the 10 pounds on the bar without, it's not freaking y'all straining y'all-self to all hell. Y'all are actually working out. And you can actually tell they're actually getting a workout, and it's not, oh my god, I can't lift it. No, it's okay,
all
we
like,
can do this. But you can see the slight strain. That's what I like.
I got pictures. Tom's got a hard on.
Shut up, hooker.
Oh,
But I mean, that's my thing. I want to be the guy who's so ripped, but at the same time being disabled, but being ripped as shit. It's like, how the hell is he that ripped? He's handicapped. I go to the gym for 4 hours every day. Kiss my ass. That's why I am badass.
yeah.
Plus, with all the door dashing I've been doing, Because I'm doing it under the bar, under the 925, that the disability guidelines that they changed at the beginning of the last year, 2020, in January. Well, it can't affect me because I can't go to disability to talk to them about it, to tell them my plan like they say to in the rule book. But you can't do that because you can't get in the office and you can't call them because nobody's there because of the COVID crap. And don't get all fussy, Twitch, because I said that word. Kiss my grits. But anywho, the bad part about that is
He's super proud, can't you tell?
I'm a badass
I'm
and I
like
know
trying
it.
to point at the right person.
No.
Yeah, Goku and me, we're badass and we know it.
I promise you got it wrong. It's not that he's proud. He's just shameless.
I'm confident, proud,
I see what you did
shameless, and I don't give a shit about your opinion because my opinion matters more than yours does. Because if I don't have a good opinion about myself, who the hell is gonna like me? Nobody. So I gotta like me before anybody likes me, and I'm that badass. I love myself. Fuck everybody else's opinion because I'm just that damn good. That's why I'm going for governor. That's also the arrogance in it. I know I'm badass and I can get this shit to work. Because I've been listening to people complain about this for the last 30 years since I was 8, dude. So I'm gonna do it. Screw listening to everybody else complain about it. Let's just get me in office and I'll do my best. If I can't do it in the first time, guess what? Put me in for a second one. We're gonna try to ride this train again. And guess what? By the time we're done, I'm gonna run this train like it's a fucking horse. That's my plan.
Giggity.
However, that being said, in order to not piss off certain crowds, you will also listen to the constituents, and you'll also
Well, yeah.
like understand that your opinion isn't the law. It's just
No.
your opinion.
My opinion is what
Gotta
I've been.
appeal to people a little
It
bit.
is.
He's saying
But
his opinion of himself.
Yeah. No. Okay.
No, my
okay, that's
opinion of myself,
Just
I
need to
can do
clarify.
it. Just, what do y'all want me to do? This is what we want you to do. Okay, no offense. Can we actually talk about the drugs? Because the drugs aren't killing anybody. At least this drug specifically.
Okay,
All the rest
go
of
ahead
them we
and
can
talk
throw
about
away.
Go ahead and talk about drugs. Just kidding.
Oh, Twitch will really kick your butts on that. They'll be like, that's not legal where you're at, punt. Watch out.
Yep.
It froze.
Okay, so right click,
Right click.
disconnect,
Where's the disconnect button?
or frick, I'm too drunk for this.
You're not drunk. You just think you are.
Dude, I've had like working on my third.
Cool. Sex is gonna be great. Just kidding.
We're on Twitch. Shut up.
I know. Because Twitch is full of children.
They'll just think they're children, mother trucker.
The people that run Twitch are children, essentially.
We're trying to fix stuff on the other end for our YouTube.
Yeah, because the OBS is like going.
That's what it did last time. I mean, we just stopped.
Feel how warm my tower is.
I mean, we can just stop if we want.
Put your hand on my tower.
It's not that warm.
That's all I need to know. So you go to properties, click deactivate, and then activate.
Oh, there we are.
Dun dun.
Yay, we're not lost. You just got sound without
Cool.
any freaking video. We'll try to fix that in editing or just
Oh yeah,
put it
no,
in
I'll
blank
do.
something.
I'll do to some tweaking with filters and stuff, sound effects, so that it feels naturally guided.
Or you could just download
Post.
a sequence off of Twitch and sync it up.
Yeah, we can always do that because I have my thing and I'll just bring over my phone and we'll just do it that way.
There's gonna be some posts.
I'm not gonna be
Stuff
still
going
back
on.
up on the bed.
Why?
She made herself too lightheaded
Just
by
gonna-
hopping down.
Tip a little bit. I think she's gonna go cow tipping.
No, but we'll just end it here since it's done it twice now. So this has been the Crazy Peas. I'm Tim Potter. This is,
Thomas Paxton.
and we'll see y'all next. Well, actually on Twitch will
gonna
see you in a couple of days.
You're gonna see us Saturday, so we're gonna do this again Saturday because we missed last Saturday. We felt really bad about that, but
That's why we're doing it
came
tonight.
in, so we
Holiday special.
did a New Year's
Exactly.
thing,
Holiday special.
and then we're gonna do it again Saturday. But next Saturday, we're gonna talk more about stories, less about government, more about stories, and more about other stuff. That way, you're not like feeling like you're in government class the entire time. That
we
way,
won't
it feels,
overload you with this
yeah,
stuff.
because Tim's been on a massive governor kick recently, and that's part of why it's been happening. I like to have
Shut
a
up, you
bit
keep
of
bringing
variety.
it up.
Hey, I think it's a talking point because I know you want to fucking talk about it, but that's why. But anyway,
It is what it is.
this has been the Crazy Peas. Hope you guys have had a fun time while it's been happening, and we'll see you again Saturday.
Have fun, y'all.
Woo!